song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging day? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, morning, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing F1 2017 Season 14, Round 18 here at the Autodromo Hermano Rodriguez in Mexico. My name is King-Kodiak, and I will be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary box once again is the Lord of the Airways, Mr. Hamish Sopwith.
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to Mexico. This should be an exciting race. It's one of the fastest tracks on the calendar due to its very high altitude, and there's 1.2 kilometers for these guys to floor the throttle down this back straight, so we should see some pretty mega overtakes into turn 1.
17 corners in this very technical circuit, and I'm actually surprised to see some people coming out on the soft tyres already, but that is the nature of the race. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Now, again, I do get a bit of a practice run in the last few rounds by commentating on the Sprint League yesterday, and everybody ran the Ultras, and they burnt out within 7 laps, pretty much. So anyone that is going to run the Ultras, especially early, I'm going to ditch them very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I've obviously been talking to some of the drivers and stuff, and you know, getting some information about race strategy, and it's pretty much just a 1 or 2 stop. 1 stop isn't the fastest though. 1 stop is good for traffic because there is a relatively high chance of being stuck in traffic around this track. You know, it's kind of got that sort of. It's mainly long straights, and there's a little bit of a twisty bit at the end, so it does sort of encourage traffic. And yeah, but a 2 stop is meant to be much faster. But obviously, like you say, the ultra softs do run out very, very quickly. So maybe Sergio starting on the soft compound tyres, if he can make it work in the top 10.
He's the only one that is, apparently.
He is the only one that is. Well, at least that's what I've got for my data.
Yeah,
as well.
Same.
If he can make it work, then yeah, good for him, because he could have a pretty strong race.
Absolutely right. 3 rounds of the championship remaining, and it all eyes are on the top 3 for that top spot. That is this man, Formula Danny, currently holding the top spot on 259 points, leading the next man, who is Topar, who has just been signed, or the signing has been announced, I should say, for G2. That is, G2 are a rather big esports team in various platforms, but they have the association with Fernando Alonso, so big round of applause to Topar for that incredible signing. He is second in the standings, I'd say, by 13 points, and Timp is third on the table. His chances are beginning to wane. I'm struggling to find him in the list. There he is. He is 35 points down. It's still mathematically possible, but it is starting to become a bit of a long shot for the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, I mean, it is, to be honest. I'd say Timp is just out of it after that 9th and 6th place. He's not going to be very happy. A 14-8 for out the box of Brendan. Good job from him. I think we'll see poll times within the region of a mid to low 14. So a 0.8 is just a little bit higher than the mark. Stanley's getting a decent enough banker lap, but there's no doubt these guys will come back in to set another lap. It's only 1 minute 14 that we're talking Monaco lengths of lap time. Also, there's quite a lot of laps. There's 36 laps. We haven't had that many, well, since Monaco.
Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So this should be quite exciting. That's 10 more, well, 9 more laps than last week. And what a race it was in Kota. That was such a good race.
Oh, Marcel Kiefer, blimey, that's close. Within Formula Danny was just over a 10th off of Brendan Lee, and Marcel Kiefer has split the pair of them at 78,000. So, wow, it is getting pretty tight at the top of the field. So yeah, basically Formula Danny doesn't necessarily have to win the next 3 rounds, although that is always the main target. He just has to keep his eyes very much on Topar and Tim, to be fair. Let's not discount him just yet, but his target is very much Topar as the car he needs to keep the biggest tabs on. And
yeah, absolutely. Go on.
No, I'm just looking at Seago thinking, that can't be right. He can't be on the... Has he come in? No, he's still out there. Segro. I was just thinking, why is he running the hardest compound? That just...
Yeah, he's not saying a very fast lap, so I think his last lap was a 1:16, got invalidated. So
maybe he's on the softs.
Tim, I've just seen you in the chat. Yes, you are a contestant. You're mathematically a contestant, but you do need to up your game, mate. So no pressure. Just make sure you keep winning.
He also said he was consistent, not a contestant. Never mind. So yeah, I think Marcel's going to come back in. Yeah, most people have been out and set their banker lap. Fizzy is still out there on track as well in the Force India. He will, I would assume, be coming in. 15 drivers, as you can see, are with us this evening. We knew we didn't have who was it? It was Impulsive Racer and possibly Sven, as I say, they haven't been able to make it, along with a couple of others. Carl Hamilton actually now just starting his time lap in the Williams, so we'll see how he does. Timp without a time on the board, interesting. And Failer is actually just coming to complete his lap in the Sauber. Let's see how he does. We saw a hell of a lot of people with driver penalties last night, so that's something the drivers are going to have to really, really bear in mind. And Failer is starting his lap. He's got the fuel to do it, so let's stay on board with Carl Hamilton. He's just coming through that double apex right-hander of turn 6, so now flooring it through 7 through to 11. This very twisty section is so easy to get wrong again, very much like Kota. One mistake here can be very, very costly. We did see people throw it into the wall, despite the fact how far away the wall is from the track, but you're going through those areas so fast that if you make a mistake, you could well be going very long way off the circuit. Now coming into the stadium section, 13, 14, slight kink there of 15, which is pretty much ignored. Now 16, and then into the next apex. Ooh, and the tail just kicks out of the Williams there. What does Carl Hamilton do? It's the pole time of 1:14.7. Very nicely done. Oh dear, we have a bit of a problem with Hamish's microphone, or Discord, I suspect, is going a little bit wonky. Let me just inform him of that. If you can hear me, Hamish, no, we can't hear you. just inform him of that. Hopefully he can sort that out before we go too much into the proceedings. Brendan is back out on a time lap. Fader actually got up to 4th with his lap. So he is just under 2/10. What a great effort then by the Sauber. And Kalon is currently out there on a time lap as well. Just going to send another message over to Hamish. Sorry about that. Hopefully he will be able to sort out his particular issue, and we will continue as we are. Timp is back out on circuit. Oh, he's got a Red Bull already ahead of him. Is that Brendan that is ahead of him? It is. He's got Brendan Lee, but Brendan is on a time lap. Timp has yet to start his. So Brendan Lee now coming to the end of that long session down the back, heading towards now that twisty S section. And of course, Hamish has just informed me that he thinks Discord is broken. I'm just going to try and fix it in case it's my Discord that's gone cuckoo. Hamish, can you hear me? That's a no, unfortunately. I think our Discord has actually fallen over, which will mean that sadly Hamish can't hear me and I can't hear him. So. Excellent. And Brendan Lee getting the top spot by 0.02 of a second. 1:47.18 over Kyle Hamilton. Wow, me, that is close. Formula Danny is still in there. He's only 2/10 down, but he finds himself in 5th. He's just coming through the stadium section very, very slowly. And he will be all turning up the taps. Let's ride on board then with our championship leader. Just under 3 minutes to go. You're back. Wonderful. I
think Discord has just had a bit of a server melt, so we are back. Well, I am back.
Good. We're riding on board with Formula Danny then. The pole time's just been taken by Brenda by 0.02 of a second, in case you haven't been able to catch up with that one, Hamish. So that is turns 1, 2 and 3 then by the Haas. Now DRS open. Down the relatively short straight, down to the really tight technical bit for 4, 5 and 6. Big heavy braking then into 4. Get over wide and throw it into 5. Now keep the car over to the left hand side for the double apex right hander of 6. Now floor it. Short straight up to 7. And thus begin the S's. In he comes. Don't go too wide. So easy to make a mistake even on those ultra soft tyres. And he keeps it fairly nice and clean and comfortably stays within the white lines. Now straight down to 12. Big heavy braking zones. He comes into the stadium section. Doesn't go too wide, just about. He manages to get it back across to the right hand side for 13. Now 14. The slight kink of 15. There is a car ahead of him. Shouldn't cause him too much trouble. It is far enough away. It was actually one of the red bots. I think there's Brendan Lee just coming in. Does Formula Danny improve? He does indeed!
He does!
1:14.591 to take the pole time by nearly 1.5 tenths.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Now we've got Topa, who is on an outlap. I really want to keep an eye on him because this is huge. We're not too first, without trying to be, say that we don't really care about the other drivers, but we're not too bothered about guys outside the top 3. This is a championship battle now. This is, almost a win or lose now for Topa. So he needs to start winning again. He can't let Danny finish ahead of him for this race. I mean, he has one chance really, and he needs to take it. So Topa is about to start his flying lap down this massively long back straight, 1.2 kilometers, as I alluded to earlier. How fast is he going? I think it's about 2:15 by the end. Obviously, there's very little air up here in the altitude.
Oh yes, that's true.
And he is getting to 2.
Timp! Oh, I was following him as he was coming. Sorry, Hamish, to cut you off there. Timp has just taken the pole time, 1:14.571, 20,000ths of a second from Formula Danny. Oh, no sooner do I say that, the Formula Danny then responds with the 14.451. My goodness me, that pole time is still tumbling. Oh no, I think we may have lost Hamish again, sadly. As the Mercedes of Topa, let's follow him then towards the end of his lap. I know what he means by we're not paying too much attention to the rest of the drivers. We will still obviously cover them for the action that they do, but of course the main focus is on the top 3. And Formula Danny, what's he done? Oh, he's just simply retired from the session. Topa then coming into the stadium once again. 13. Can he improve? Currently 8th position, 6.5 tenths down. Through 16 into 17, you see the tail just kicking out a little bit, and it is 3rd. Goodness me, it is 3rd position then for Topaz. Carl Hamilton then sticks it into 2nd. You're back again, Hamish. Wonderful.
Yeah, I could still hear you, but oh well, a bit odd.
Discord doing its thing, unfortunately.
Wow. Service, so that might be why we're having a couple of those interested.
So Tim's actually still on a lap apparently, but he hasn't got the fuel.
Taylor is just finishing now. Oh, that's solid. That's a 14.7.
Oh, 6th.
Good job from the Sauber driver.
Well played indeed. That's only 3 tenths off the top as well. Actually, looking to half a second covers the top 10.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I mean, a second is top. Well, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, even top 11. I mean, there's only 7 tenths in it.
Everyone, I'm not surprised.
Max
everyone
had a crash. Somehow.
Oh dear.
He's messed up turn 1, maybe. Oh well.
That's the end of the session anyway. I used out of fuel, and one of the Saubers has actually parked it.
That's Max. That's with a crash.
Oh, I see. I was trying to
tethers on his start. Anyway, let's go through the grid. Formula Danny, good pole time from him. He's going to be very pleased. Kyle Hamilton, just off that, off the a 10th. You got Tim in 3rd.
I think we're losing Hamish again. Topa 4, Brendan Lee 5, Failer 6, Non-Runner 7, Master Kiefer 8, Raven 9. Didn't really see Raven time come in, and Max rounding out the top 10. So we do apologise for the communication problems we are having with Discord at the moment, but it is. We will do our best to work around it. Now I haven't been informed. Try again. I have been informed that it is a dry race, which is not really a surprise for Mexico, and there it is, a little bit of cloud around, but nothing to worry about. Just going to reconnect, see if Hamish can hear me this time. I assume that he cannot. So again, apologies for that communication problem. We will do our best to work around it. Right, let us see then how this race turns out. The sprint race yesterday was pretty hectic, so I am really looking forward to this. What an incredible season, how the season's being tied up here for the PC Split 1. Cannot wait. Down to the grid we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Wind them up and let them go. Wow, that was very, very quick. That didn't seem to catch anybody out. Hamilton's had a pretty damn good start. He's gone into the lead. Formula Danny's lost the lead, and Topar looks like he's going to go through on the inside, trying to claim both of them. Oh my goodness, big trouble! Gosh. Oh, we've got. Yes, we can. We've got big trouble.
That is insane. Is that 2 Saubers?
I think it might be, but I'm keeping an eye on the front. We'll catch up with those at the back in a minute. Goodness me, Formula Danny has had a terrible start. He's down to 6. Carl Hamilton through to the lead. Topa 2. Brendan Lee, great start for him up to 3rd. He's already trying to claim the Mercedes. Now he's going to be in the middle of 2. That's ACR Tim that's in 4th position. My God, it's impossible to keep up with, which is generally the case as well. Wow, goodness me, what on earth happened further back? Was that Failer and Max?
It looked like the Saubers had quite a major collision. They were both off. I think they both hit the wall. There's cum fibre everywhere. We'll get confirmation of that as Kyle Hamilton goes past the start finish to see what happens. But I also go to say how consistent Max and Failer have been. They neck and neck pretty much in the championship, so that's very surprising.
It is indeed. The 2 Saubers at the back with severe damage to the front of their car, so it was the 2 teammates that tangled, and then Kyle Hamilton doing his best to try and get away from Topar. And Topa, of course, having to defend very, very heavily from Brendan Lee, which is no easy feat at the best of times. On board then with the Red Bull, now down this very, very long straight. We saw the DRS was massively effective. And Kalon's in the pits as well, so he didn't escape unscathed. He's going to get a bit of slipstream in there. Brendan Lee's going to go on the inside of a turn 1. Can he slow it down? He can. Topa's going to try and get a switch back, try and get the inside of 2. He can't quite do it. Brendan Lee has taken 2nd, and Timp's right in there as well. Timp is not letting that one go, but he's had a very bad run through that turn 3, and that's going to put him in great danger off Formula Danny, who, oh my God, that was a bit of a lunge there. Oh, and we actually saw Tim ghost. Tim's in trouble. That car is ghosted, or they are
ghosting a lot.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a bit of desync going on there, because they both seem to sort of take a line that ignored each other, which would be very unusual, but neither of them actually... Oh, Timp is in... Like you say, Timp's in great trouble. He is falling through the field. He may well have damage to that car. He may have opted to ghost his car intentionally if he's struggling that badly, but we will keep an eye on him and see how he gets on. Kyle Hamilton then leads Brendan Lee by just over a second.
Yeah, I mean, the guys are so close at the moment now. Is Brendan going to be able to... you know, catch up with Kyle Hamilton again, use DRS, how he did with Topa. I mean, that was quite a gutsy move on the inside of Topa, so fair play to him. Brendan with the fastest lap time. Formula Danny, he's just outside the sort of overtaking range of Topa. Got Marcel Kiefer and Timp. In fact, Marcel Kiefer's actually overtaken Timp, so yes, Timp must have trouble, and he's locking up, which suggests he might have... But I don't think it's that major, but Timp is ghosting a lot. Raven is right behind him. In fact, talking about Raven, Nolan is going to have a look in the Renault on the inside of Raven. I think it's the inside. No, it's the outside of Raven. Both braking very late. If Nolan gets some move, that will be pretty good. He's still got the inside, not quite able to make it stick, but that was a very good effort from Nolan. As Slick comes on the inside of the McLaren, gets a massive load of oversteer, and that's lost all his momentum down to the S section. That
was a shame. That was looking at a very gutsy move there by Slick. Timp is actually lagging all over the place, so he is in great trouble. I'm not entirely sure it's any kind of damage relation. I think he's having either connection or technical problems, which is a great shame. Look at this, though. Brendan Lee's already close back in on Kyle Hamilton for the lead of this race, but they're all within DRS range. Marcel Kiefer not quite there on the back of Formula Danny just yet, but DRS should now be available to them. The start finish line happens quite early on this particular straight. Brendan Lee now with DRS open. Is he going to size up a move? He's weaving. What is he doing? Weaving here and everywhere. I'm not quite sure whether that was a very strange view from our side, or whether Brendan was just weaving side to side to try and play a bit of mind games with Kyle Hamilton. Oh my goodness me, look at that. Wow. Brendan, he's had a brilliant exit from turn 3, and he's now switched back to the inside for 4, as he's baited Kyle Hamilton to go for the standard racing line, and well defended there by the Williams.
Look how close Topa is. Look how close Topa is. Sorry to interrupt, Kodiak. I mean, Topa was literally pushing Brendan round that corner, and yeah, it's 900 meters of DRS for any of you interested.
So the Mercedes now really in striking range. Brendan Lee had to get out of that as he came through 4, 5 and 6. So that's put the Mercedes right on his case now. Now we're going to get the short straight down to 12. It's going to take it's too big a move to try something into that particular corner. Now we're into the stadium section once again. And there you see Formula Danny is not far off the back of this pack either. After his disastrous start, he's reeled the leaders back in again because of their battling, and not too far behind them either is Marcel Kiefer. Tim's still in there, but I think unless he manages to resolve his technical trouble, I think Tim is going to be out of this one. Now DRS open on the Red Bull and on the Mercedes as well. Kyle Hamilton is absolute sitting duck. He's gone for the defensive line. Brendan Lee's going to fly past on the outside of turn 1. Can he get it slowed down? He can. Hamilton has not got an answer. Oh, I say that. He's now going to have a look at the switchback, but Brendan, of course, is going to have the DRS once again. Now Topa is going to try and get DRS on the Williams, which, of course, he does. Brendan still feels the need to go for that defensive line into 4, and Brendan didn't get away as much as I thought he would heading into this next twisty section, and the Kyle Hamilton had a great drive but couldn't use that momentum out of 5. Now the double right-hander is 6. Is he going to try something into 7? It's gutsy, but he's not going to quite do something. He's going to look for possibly the inside of 12.
Yeah, I've noticed Tim has sorted out his issues, and the top 4 are so close. I mean, they're within a second. That's absolutely unbelievable. So you obviously get 2 lots of DRS around here, but there is only 1 DRS detection. That means at the exit of turn 17, where the detection point is... Oh no, in fact, I think it's the beginning of turn 16 where the detection is. You have for you for obviously the start, finish straight, and from turns 3 to turns 4. And is Topa going to have Kyle Hamilton? He has got the DRS. Brendan still seems to be weaving quite a lot. It's very bizarre. I haven't seen someone do that in a long time. And Topa is going to have a look at Kyle Hamilton on the inside, possibly. And he doesn't. Not going to make the move stick, but that is very close indeed. And Danny is right by them. I've noticed as well Danny's had a couple of races where he's had bad starts, so I wonder if that's playing on his mind at all. Oh, where's Tim?
Tim's in the pits. Yeah, he's been in there a while, so he did have damage on that car. Oh! And there was a bit of impact there for the Mercedes on the back of Kyle Hamilton. Topar, he's lost 2 because Marcel Kiefer's in there as well. Racing Rafen is 3 and a bit seconds behind this particular battle, so no particular worry there. But there was just a slight tap on the back of the Williams. Topar's down 2 positions. Now Formula Danny holding on to that 3rd position, 6/10 down from Hamilton, and Brendan Lee is out of DRS range of the Williams, so he can now sprint off into the distance, as he seems to be getting into the habit of doing.
Yeah, so did you see if Topar had damage because of that Kodiak?
I didn't notice anything. It was quite a long camera angle, so we didn't see any bits of carbon fiber. All the elements look like they're there from the driver's eye perspective. He's not coming in the pits.
They're coming in soon anyway, won't they? So
I would think these 7. Yeah, these ultra softs are not going to last too much longer unless they're really going to stretch them out, which I can't imagine is going to work very well. Now Topar with DRS on Marcel Kiefer. You've got also Formula
Danny on the move with Kyle Hamilton. He is so close, almost made it stick. He's going to get a fantastic run off turn 6. No,
yeah.
3 even. Let's see what he can do. DRS wide open. Kyle Hamilton on the inside line. Formula Danny, in fact, hasn't gained as much as he thought he would have. Very late braking. Wow, what a move down the outside for Formula Danny. That is why he is one of the esports finalists. That was fantastic racing. Now he just has to hunt down Brendan Lee and claim back his win. Or his pole time.
That's going to be easier said than done. We know how well Brendan can just sprint off into the distance. Already 2.5 seconds separates first and second. You've got Marcel Kiefer that's got straight on Kyle Hamilton's case, but he can't relax too much because he's got that Mercedes of Topar right with him. They come through the S's of 7 through 11. Now coming back into the stadium once again. Looked like Hamilton went a little bit deep, but was able to get enough traction to make it stick. But if they fight too much, as he non-runners back up into 6th position, so pretty decent effort for him. Raven's up 4, Secret's up 6, and we have got, that is Kyle Hamilton in. And interestingly, the top, what is now the top 4, all opted to continue. I wonder whether that's going to bite them a little bit, because again, like mentioned before, these Ultrasofts do not last well here.
Yeah, I can only assume a lot of these guys have decided to do a one-stop if they're going so far into the race. Which seems quite strange because the 2-stop is quicker on paper, so that is quite odd. We've got Raven, who's doing quite well. He's in P7 and he's just behind Slick.
You just saw Tim there get the fastest laps on the super soft tyres. That is a massive indication that these ultra softs are ruined. These guys have got to get rid of them.
A lot of time.
Yeah, it was quite a big gap as well. I think it was something like 6/10 or so.
26 seconds behind he was. He is now 22 seconds behind Brendan. So in 2 laps, he's gained 4 seconds.
That surely is a huge indication. That is, of course, if the drivers are aware. Oops, as you used to see Marcel Kiefer get a little bit wide there on turn 12. It all depends how much information these guys at the top are getting. If they know that they're that much slower, and the top 4 have all continued, that could potentially bite them as Kyle Hamilton gets himself a penalty. He's after his pit stop, he's down in 11th.
Yeah, I think he's going to be frustrated. Sorry, go down. He's going to be frustrated with that because he was one of our top 3.
He was absolutely. Topar couldn't do anything against his teammate there. His teammate, no, that's completely wrong. He couldn't do anything against the Haas ahead of him. I don't know why my brain suddenly put Topar in a Haas there. It's because I saw 2 Haas's on screen. Of course, Formula Danny and Marcel Kiefer are both in the Haas cars. So again, Topar just couldn't do anything against the Haas, which is interesting. But again, that could be down to the fact that his tyres are completely mullered. Marcel may have been able to manage his tyres a little bit better to defend from the Mercedes as they now head up towards turn 7 again. Surely they've got to come in this time. I think they've left it too long.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, there's been a really good gap. I mean, Timp is now in that gap, but there has been a really good gap from when Timp was about 26 seconds behind to Raven. One of these leaders could have easily slotted into there and gained 3-4 seconds. And I think Tim might even claim the lead, so just keep an eye on it. Brendan isn't in. Formula Danny isn't. He was thinking about it. Topar isn't in. Non-runner, is he in? He is coming in. So non-runner is. I don't think he's going to be able to jump any of the leaders. But we will have to find out. I can't believe they're making these tyres last 10 laps.
We've said this before, whether we say they're stretching the tyres too long and they still manage to pull off miracles. We will see. We will see. But again, and there you go, Kyle Hamilton on the super soft tyres has just set the fastest lap in the Williams. Topar having a look on the outside heading towards turn 4. It's not really going to make it stick there, but he's making Marcel really work for the defensive line. Oh, what a lovely switch back by Topar. Can he make it stick into 6? He's got the inside line. It's bold, it's beautiful, but can he make it stick? He hasn't quite got the traction he needs out of 6. Now the Haas is going to have the inside for 7. He couldn't get it done. Oh, big tank slap of a Topar. He well held there. I mean, that's getting quite quick by that stage, and he still managed to hold it without losing any time. It was... I think he's cost himself time by doing it, but, well, you don't get towards the top of the championship by playing it safe, I suppose.
No, absolutely not. Topar's going to be frustrated as well. He's going to have more adrenaline than he did before he had that little incident with the Merc.
Marcel's in.
Marcel Kiefer. So Topar now has a free lot of DRS times 2. Doesn't need to. All he needs to do is focus on his pace and his laps. He doesn't need to focus on people behind him. Brendan isn't in Formula, Danny isn't in. So it'll be interesting to see where the guys who have pitted come out, because I think we're going to see Tim right near the top. In fact, I'm pretty sure Tim's going to be leading this race.
It's possible, but it all comes down to how much better... I mean, it could be fair to say that the top 3 are trying to do the one-stop. So if they come out with the soft tyres, they are going to be doing the one-stop strategy. I can't see the super softs are going to go that long into the race if they come in this time. So, well, they would have 25 laps on a set of super softs. I would doubt it.
That's not possible.
No.
That is just not possible. Interestingly, Danny's tyres are 1 lap older than Brendan's because he did 2 flying laps on these tyres, I believe, in qualifying. So, and it's showing in his pace, he's lost half a second somewhere. So, I don't think he's making any mistakes. Topar is, what, 3 and a bit seconds behind. Oh, okay, Gordon's got on the pennant. I think that's the second pennant. Formula, yeah, so I think Topar's, what, 3.5 seconds behind
Brendan's
Formula
in.
Danny.
Right, let's see what the Red Bull... Brendan's in, Formula Danny's in. I wouldn't be surprised if Topar continues. That is going to bite him. Almost certainly. Brendan is on the soft tyres. I can't click on his name because he keeps moving. Brendan is on the soft tyres. I am not surprised. I think Formula Danny is going to be on soft tyres. Yes, he does. So those two are definitely one-stopping. I would think Topar is going to do the same. He's pushed it too long. I cannot see how he's going to make that work. Now, the one-stop, from what I gather, will work if you don't get caught in too much traffic. And that's what's going to be that is going to be the biggest issue. Timp is now up to 5th. Formula Danny's come out right in a pack of traffic. Oh, that was close. Between the two teammates, Marcel Kiefer has been through the pits and Danny slots right in between him and Kyle Hamilton. So this is 7th, 8th and 9th at the moment. Wow, that's going to be a battle that's going to go on for a while.
Yes, so it's actually the other way around. So the two-stop is better if you don't have traffic, which so far Timp hasn't, which is why he's 5 seconds ahead of Brendan. Wow. Incredible. So I said the one stop, didn't I? Yeah, I said the one stop. Obviously, so you probably. I know you meant.
I know. What? Unfortunately, the brain scrambled as I was. Sadly, sometimes the gob works quicker than the brain, and sadly that was the case there. I meant the two stop. Of course, one stop you don't have to worry about coming in again. So if you get traffic, so be it. Of course, you have to avoid the traffic in the two stop. He's actually Fizzy's up to 4th now. Topar is now in. That, I reckon, is going to bite him, but we will see where he reappears. That's going to put Timp in 4th. Is Timp going to... He's going to have DRS...
I think he's got to move on Force India.
Oh, crikey, he's going to have that done before he gets to the braking zone. But, of course, Fizzy started on those tyres, and Tim's already been in, so they are much, much fresher tyres for the Toro Rosso. He's gone into 3rd. He's 5 seconds down from Seager at the moment. Where does Topar reappear? He is in 10th, so he is behind Danny, he's behind Brendan, and, of course, he is behind Kyle Hamilton. That's going to hurt in the long run, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just as a comparison, Brendan came in on end of lap 12. Is that end of lap 11? Topar came in at the end of, well, only just at end of lap 12. So it's like, what, 2 laps difference has meant that Brendan is 9 seconds up the road. It was
Crikey.
6.
Yeah,
so obviously you do the math, so that's 5 seconds.
Hamilton.
Another penalty.
Pushing too hard, and this is exactly what we saw. And again, he was in that S's section where most of the penalties from the sprint race were accrued. You pushed that a little bit too hard, which is so easy to do, especially if you're in the dirty air of the car ahead of you, and you will just go off the road. And you're obviously not meaning to, but you're just trying to push that little bit too hard, and the car just will not stick. Got a great four-way battle though. So this is Marcel Kiefer, Formula Danny, Carl Hamilton, and non-runner is on the back of this train as well. There he is in the Renault. So 2 Haas, 1 Williams, 1 Renault. They're 6th down to 9th in their battle. Of course, looking further up the road, quite a way further up the road, Slick and Segro, the 2 McLarens, are currently 1-2. That is not often we get to say that, but there in the background, there is ACR Timp. He has been carving his way through the field. He's really back into this race.
Yeah, that's not bad though. I mean, Slick and Segro, they haven't pitted yet. I think they're doing all right. I mean, it takes around here what 21 seconds to do a pit stop, so they're not doing too badly. But yeah, I think we've been in this position once before where we've seen the McLaren leading for a lap.
It has happened before. That is absolutely true. Brendan, he's already beginning to close in now on Fizzy. Fizzy currently in 4th position. There is the Force India. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Fizzy doesn't really try too hard to keep the Red Bull behind. He may try to defend that. He has every right to. This is 4th position. He does not have to yield it, but Fizzy will know he's not realistically in a fight with Brendan Lee. And look at the extra grip that the Red Bull has, even on those harder tires. He's stuck really that much harder to the apex. Couldn't quite get the move done, but now with DRS, barely before the DRS is even open, he's alongside, and that is 4th position to Brendan Lee.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy textbook move there from Brendan Lee, unless he makes a catastrophic mistake, which is unlikely for a driver of his caliber. We've got Formula Danny right on the back of Marcel Kiefer. He is not doing too badly at all. I mean, imagine those points for Haas. I mean, Haas and Merck, they're pretty close to each other in the championship, just 20 points. 20
points apart.
But, you know, if they're coming, you know, I don't know, top 3 and 4 or something by the end of the race, then, oh wow, that's gonna be pretty good for them, looking at constructors. Topa, he is, I don't know, he hasn't... I think he is actually gaining on Danny, but he's actually on the ultra. Oh, that's interesting. Topa's on the ultra soft tyres.
On my screen, he's on softs, which is what I would expect.
Yeah, he probably is on softs then. The only thing I'd say with Topa, he is going to have a couple of extra laps of grip by the end of this race, considering it is such a, you know, a tyre sensitive track. And Slick is in the pit.
He is from the lead. Glad to see. I do try and give the drivers a bit of airtime. It's very, very difficult sometimes when you've got such great battling going on further up the field. Fizzy is coming as well. I think he came in from 5th position, so Timp is now in 2nd, 1.8 down the road from Segro. Brendan is 3.5 down from Timp. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how that gap is maintained. Of course, Brendan, we're almost certain, does not have to come in again. Timp absolutely will have to come in again. It depends how long you can keep these supersofts on. I would think he's going to aim to put an set of ultras on, but it depends. If those supersofts burn out too fast, he may have no choice but to go for another set of reds. Yeah,
you may very well be right. I think the drivers are possibly playing it by ear. Maybe that's usually what I did. I always did all the practice beforehand, but when it came to the race, things happen. You get into battles you don't want to be. You become in dirty air. You're not as far up the grid as you thought you were going to be. All these things play into obviously your pit strategy. And
another penalty for Carl Hamilton.
That's 9 seconds of penalties. That's not good. And he's in a fairly
Marcel Kiefer. Sorry, Hamish. We were on board with Formula Danny then, just saw seeing his own teammate fly. Oh, goodness me! That was Hamilton. Hamilton's in trouble. He's stationary in the middle of the stadium. We didn't see what happened, and he is out. Carl Hamilton has actually left the session. He's gone straight out of it. I wonder if he's opted to leave, which is technically not allowed. We didn't see an impact, though. The car looks okay, and if we jump on board, all the elements of the front wing appear to be there, unless, of course, Carl Hamilton has had a problem that has forced him to retire from the session. But, oh, goodness me, we have lost the Williams.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't want to make any prejudgments, but I know how difficult it is when you're having a bad race for carry on for another, 20, 30 laps. It's never that exciting. Raven, he's in a solid position in P8. Nice to see him back in that Williams. Had Raven have been here all season, who knows where he could have been.
Absolutely.
Also, I want to mention Force India. We obviously have Wycombs and Fizzly at the beginning of the season. We don't now. We have Donoso, who unfortunately isn't able to attend this race. But I was really looking forward to seeing how far up the grid Wycombs could have got. I mean, he was definite championship material. I mean, obviously the points didn't show for it. He only got a handful of points. But had he not have had those technical issues,
absolutely,
multiple race winner, podium sitter this season.
Tim's going for a move on the lead on Segro. There it is. He's going to get that one done before he's even got to the braking zone. The Toro Rosso of ACR team has taken the lead, but Brendan Lee is closing in at a hell of a rate of knots on these two. It's and again you saw the tail of that Toro Rosso did not want to stick. So Brendan could well just breeze past ACR team when he gets up there. But again, it depends if Segro tries to make Brendan's life difficult, which, like mentioned before, he's perfectly allowed to. Is whether he will, again, not realistically in the same battle. We will see. Formula Danny still half a second off the back of his teammate. He has been staring at the back of that Haas rear wing as Segro, oh goodness me, from second actually gets him to have a penalty. So Formula Danny is broken away from those behind him. And Topar, what's happened to Topar? He's down in 7th. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, on the actual field he's got purple tyres on, but on the overlay he's got softs on. So now I see why I see where you got confused. There's no way in hell he's running ultras at this point.
No way. I agree. I think that is probably just a. In fact, I mean, I'll have a look at the race direct to see what times he set.
No, by all means. So Segro then. It is soft tyres. Yeah, I thought it would be. So Brendan Lee has just breezed past Segro, both of them on the soft tyres, but of course Brendan's tyres are much, much newer. He's doing that wiggling thing again. We'll have to ask him about that if we get a chance to speak to Brendan after the race. It's quite a weird little tactic he's doing. I think he just feels the need to get that much more heat into his tyres. He's already within a second of ACR Tint, and again you see that wiggling going on, unless he just feels his tyres are too cold, which...
Well, that's technically not allowed, because Sergo's more than entitled to try and move. So if he did, and Brendan was weaving a little bit from left to right and there's contact, then you'd have to say Brendan would be held liable just of the nature of the rules of Formula 1. So it seems very odd.
Sorry, Hamish, we just saw Tim have a massive tank slapper on the exit of turn 11, very nearly through into the wall, well held to keep his car out of there, but of course Brendan is now right on his case. I think the excessive weaving rule is more to do with if you're defending from an active overtake, but it's still very odd. We've not seen that behaviour from Brendan or indeed anyone. Now, Tim's sticking really hard to the inside line, DRS open on the Red Bull, and Tim is pretty much a sitting duck at this stage. Brendan has, oh my goodness me, he went for the inside when the line was already defended. That move is done. And can he slow it down? Yes, he can. Tim having a look for the switchback. He's not close enough really to make it. Oh, saying that, he's staying with it, but of course it was a fair effort, but he's staying right under that rear wing. He's not letting the Red Bull go just yet. So Tim's not making it easy for Brendan, and fair play, why not? Tim still is in with a championship shot here, so he's going to want as many points to get. He's 35 points behind Danny at the moment, and if Danny has another problem, it could be a big championship shake-up yet again.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing with Timp is that obviously he's go on.
Again, we just throw a bit of a tank slapper from Tim, so I think he's probably had the best out of those tyres. We are already over halfway through this race.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Tim has done one stop quite early on in the race, so he is doing a 2-stop, so his strategy was working, but now it sort of isn't. And
he's coming in.
He's coming into a pits as we speak about him. He's got, 15 laps? That's probably another pair of
It's got to be super softs. Yeah, it has to be. There's
soft.
No, it'll be super softs, I would have thought. Yeah, it's the Red Mart Super Subs going on, and that is Segro coming in again.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. That's strange. He's not on. Oh no, he hadn't been in. Sorry, Segro was the last one that hadn't been in at all.
I was going to say, he's not as far down the field as I thought he would be.
No, indeed.
He came in. One.
So
Slick's just made a move on Raven, maybe. Yeah, that was solid. Good effort from him. Nice move down the inside. Now Raven is going to be within. Well, he's within DRS range, but not with DRS. Slick has that privilege, and wow, look how that McLaren just pulls away.
Yeah, we saw the DRS have a massive effect before. Oh,
that's big.
That's going to potentially hurt. Although, while saying that, I think that's the only penalty Formula Danny's got. He's currently over 3 seconds ahead of non-runner. It's all dependent on if he can maintain that gap. Now, we've seen Marcel... Oh, non-runner. Non-runner just undid it. But again, this is exactly what we saw yesterday. A lot of drivers getting penalties, just pushing too hard. And I bet you that vast majority of them are being incurred in that twisty section 7 through 11. And Failer has got his name on the penalty board as well. Goodness me, they're all having to go at it now. So Marcel is still stuck behind his teammate.
Yeah, Topa hasn't got any penalties. In fact, he only has one warning. So,
wow.
You know, oh no, a tip again? Jesus, come on. I have to write all this down.
Was it Tim, did you say, that got his name on the penalty board?
Oh,
Tim!
Yeah, he has now.
Oh, goodness me. What a shame. He's, again, just pushing that little bit too hard. But Topar, he is pretty much in no man's land there. He's 2.5 behind non-runner and 6 seconds ahead of Slick. So, yeah, he's surprising, actually, that gap is still there. But yet again, coming to these two Haas within a second, and Formula Danny will be pretty fed up of staring at the back of his teammate. But Marcel Kiefer, he doesn't have to let him go, but I'm surprised he hasn't done yet, because it's clearly Formula Danny has got a comparable pace to Marcel Kiefer, and of course Marcel's not in the championship battle. You'd have thought that there would be a bit of team orders going on there, but oh well, they've opted not to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we will see. I mean, the thing
Topar!
No.
I mean, he's 6 seconds ahead of Slick, so that I think is Topar's first penalty. So that's not going to hurt his immediate, that's not going to hurt for defending, but it's just a shame to see the penalties being racked up, unfortunately.
Yeah, most of the drivers actually have one. Brendan doesn't have one. He's kept his nose clean throughout the race so far, so good on him.
Non-runner's in. He might. Oh, Tim has actually just set the fast lap. I was just wondering if non-runner would risk a ultra soft set. Nope, he comes out on the red mark tyres as well. So let's have a look through our grid then, see who is where. Brendan Lee once again leading in a pretty dominant start. That is the Ferrari of Riker Gordon he's coming up to put a lap on. He leads by just under 4 seconds of this man, Marcel Kiefer, to esports stalwarts. Well, 3 technically. Well, 4 indeed. The top 4 are all esports veterans. So Formula Danny has stuck to his teammate for quite a long time now. Even the pit stops didn't really shuffle that up. Topar is not on ultra softs. He is indeed on soft tyres. Started 4th and remains so. Slick is on for a decent haul of points for McLaren. He's up 7 places actually from his start. A great race for him, capitalising on the misadventures of others. Timp has he's got time to improve in his position. He's catching up to Slick and probably at an astronomical rate of knots as well. He's got past ACR Raven. As you mentioned earlier, Hamish, it's good to see the American back in the saddle. We missed out on him for, I think it was 5 weeks, so we didn't see Raven for. Segro, the other McLaren, he's also up 7 places from his start, so both McLarens in the points at the moment. Non-runner in the Renault, there he is in 9th, and Marcel Kiefer gets another penalty. That's at least 3, I think, for him. Fizzy is in the points. Oh, was it 2? Oh, beg your pardon. Fizzy is in the points just about. He's 4 seconds down from non-runner, but that could still change if somebody further up has a problem, much like the ghosted Williams he's about to put a lap on. Max, as we saw, had that big old accident with his teammates on the first lap. He's in 11th. Kalon top. Oh, and that's Slick and Tim swapping position. Kalon in 12th. We haven't really seen him. Failer, as mentioned before, the Saubers coming together at the start. There's Riker Gordon in the Ferrari. He's very much on his own, and the ghosted Carl Hamilton rounds out our field.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier that Max and his teammate Failer they've been so consistent in that sale, but they haven't, you know, they've always, well, I mean, obviously they're not at the moment, but they've pretty much always been in the points. They're just sort of collecting points really for the Sauber team, and that sort of puts midfield in the constructors, you know, with, you know, they could be challenging Renault, maybe towards the end of the season if Renault guys don't have a brilliant result. We've got one Renault non-runner in P9, and in fact I think that's it. We've only got non-runner.
Yeah, it is only one Renault. Sven's not here, so
so Formula Danny is looking at Marcel Kiefer on the inside, trying a move for about 10th millionth lap running, and he hasn't quite got it done. He's going to have another stab though after turn
inside of 6.
Wow, that's a really good move. I don't know if Marcel let him pass. Well, that was very good.
Could have done, but I mean, if he was going to let him pass, surely he'd have done it like 10 laps ago. Formula Danny has been behind his teammate for so long, but it could be that Marcel realises that the penalty count alone would put him behind Formula Danny. No point in holding up the championship leader any longer. So Formula Danny now up to 2nd position, although Marcel is keeping up with him, and why not? Brendan now leads by 5.5 seconds over these two. Topar is just shy of 6 seconds down. You actually just saw him at the back of the shot coming through the stadium section. So with 10 laps to go, it's possible if Topar's got a lot of pace he can suddenly find, but it's going to be very, very hard work for Topar to climb up. Marcel is now going to have the DRS, and Danny did feel the need to defend the line. You saw him going towards the inside, so I don't think Marcel's going to let him run off into the distance.
No, I mean, I've been fortunate enough that the teammates I've been with in the past, hang on, let's just keep on board with Marcel Kiefer. Is he going to have a move? Surely,
he thought about it.
Wow, he did think about it. I mean, that looks quite aggressive. I mean, this is a championship leader we're talking about. Not only the championship leader, it's your teammate, but he's obviously completely entitled to make a move up to P2. I mean, currently Marcel Kiefer's best finishing position is P3, I believe, in Singapore, and you know he's going to want to improve on that. I was going to say I've been quite lucky with teammates in the past, where I've gone on with them, but sometimes you obviously have teammates who you sometimes don't get on with as much, and you know sometimes a teammate is more of your number one enemy. So who knows what's going on behind the scenes? You know, being Kodiak, obviously have no idea what the relationship between Danny and Kiefer are, but we assume it's healthy, but it's all in good spirit, I'm sure, this racing.
Formula Danny had a great drive out of turn 17. Even still, he was 9/10 ahead of his teammate by the time they crossed the line, and still Formula Danny felt the need to go to that inside line. Maybe just you know, better safe than sorry kind of thing. But he's now beginning to build up a bit of a gap between himself and his teammate. I've just seen in chat a possible reason why Tim was struggling early on. He's having screen freezes, so that would definitely explain why he was struggling so badly at the beginning of the race.
And the ghosting, I think part of screen freezes sort of automatically ghost your car. So that does explain it. Tim, because I did notice Tim suddenly gained loads of pace, and I think Tim might have mentioned he's had this issue before. But I think he's closing in on Topar on the. Is he on the super soft? Oh, managed to put himself another penalty. That's not good. Especially with his teammate being so close behind, and then Topar, you know, I mean, probably not going to catch up. But you know, that means the points difference isn't going to be as great.
But again, Formula Danny. Whether Marcel is aware that Formula Danny is still ahead of both of his championship rivals and therefore feels that he can still battle his teammate, or maybe they've had a chat beforehand. If we are in this position, then just race all out. We don't know. We don't know what chats these guys have. I'd still be, I mean, even if I was in Marcel Kiefer's position, I'd still not want to interfere. I would still want to let the championship leader be in front. I wouldn't want to hold him up.
There's a lot of pressure, you know. I mean, Marcel isn't actually on Discord, so Danny can't communicate him apart from maybe through Steam, which is very unlikely when they're racing.
We've just seen Segro blast past Raven as well for that 7th position. I was keeping an eye on the times and seeing that one drop, but Marcel Kiefer is just not letting that Haas go, and that is not what Formula Danny will want as we are in the closing stages of this race.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this battling could potentially allow Topar to close in as well. He's still got 8 laps. He's still got the possibility of being able to close into these guys. And if he closes into within 3 seconds of Danny, no matter what Danny does, doesn't matter how many points he has got or can get, he is going to finish behind Topa, which is not what he's wanting. That will be pretty much a dream for Topa if that happens. And in fact, I think Timp is closing in on Topa as well. His pace has been really, really solid.
I'm just having a look at the fuel amount, and they're all running fairly close to the wire, with the exception of Timp. Timp's a little bit more in the tank, but not a great deal. But yeah, that's only 2.5 seconds between Timp and Topa. Because the closest battle we have is... Oh, crikey, that looked a bit close there from Marcel. So the closest battle we have is these two Hasses, who we've been staring at for quite a long time now. Normally, it's been Formula Danny chasing Marcel. It's now the other way around. But Marcel does not want to let that go. He wants that second spot on the podium. With Topa, I think Topa is probably eased off a bit, because I'm looking at the gap and it's stayed at around about 6 seconds for a while now. So I think Topa is kind of accepting where he is and just bringing the car home, not wanting to accrue any more penalties.
Yeah, the only thing with Topa I would say is that he has some slightly fresher tyres than Danny by a couple of laps. That's about it. But he can't relax too much. He's got Tim, well, closing down on him very, very quickly. I think it is sort of an easy second and a bit of lap, I think, at the moment. So, yeah, Topa doesn't want to get too comfortable in that P4 position. Oh, Sogo has another 3-second penalty. Well, that won't drop him outside the points yet.
No, not yet. Marcel had a terrible run through the S's sections, and that did lose a good half a second on his teammate, but still within DRS, so he is still able to claw a little bit of it in. And again, Formula Danny will know he's still there, so still having to divert more attention than he would like to defense. But again, 5.5 seconds ahead of him to Brendan. You just actually seen the Red Bull go out of the shot there, and with 7 laps or less than 7 laps to go, it's looking like another comfortable win for the Red Bull.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've seen Brendan before, how he's able to sort of control the race from the front. He doesn't have a penalty either, so that's even more impressive. You know, he tends not to abuse track limits. He's a hard driver, though. You know, he if there's an opportunity, he's going to go for it, and you know that. And I think what he's able to do is he's made the other drivers aware about his driving style. It is quite aggressive. It's fair, but it's aggressive. And if you're a driver like that, similar to how Max Verstappen is in real life, it kind of puts it, for any driver, it puts in the back of your mind, you know, I just won't push it too much, because the last thing you want to do is end up, you know, someone taking you out. And I'm not saying Brendan's going to do that, but, you know, that's the thought process behind it. Danny has gained about a second on Marcel Kiefer as well.
Yeah, so Marcel, I think, fell outside of DRS range just at the crucial time. But look who's got DRS. It's Timp. He is closing in pretty hard now on Topa. Now, remember, Timp is on the softer rubber, which he pitted on about 6 or 7 laps ago. So they're still pretty damn good. And he is enjoying the extra life out of those tyres now. He is really pressuring for that 4th position, as ACR Raven's actually just come in the pit. So he'll be... According to the overlay, he's going to put ultras on, which you can perfectly understand with 6 laps to go. Actually puts Fizzy in 9th, which I'm sure he'd be quite happy about. That would be his best finish of the season, I believe.
Oh, sorry, so again, Kodiak? Which would?
I think Fizzy would finish. Fizzy's now in 9th, as Raven's just pitted, so that would be Fizzy's best finish of the season.
I
think.
No. Best finish is P8 for Fizzy so far.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
However, I think no one has a penalty.
Well, yeah, but that's not 16 seconds.
Not 16 seconds. No, you're right. Yeah, maybe something like, well, maybe if it was Car Hamilton, then maybe. Now, let's keep an eye on Tim, because he's so close to Topa at the moment. These guys are battling in the championship.
There
Tim was saying about his consistency earlier, and it looks like he's responded with a pretty good overtake. And I don't think Topa's going to have an answer. He's got a bit of better drive, but that's pretty much move done. Good job. And
Topa didn't try and block that. He knew Tim had the pace over himself, so he didn't want to do anything silly and send both of them off into the grass. So Topar just let that one go. Wise driving there, but there's still 5 laps to do. You never know what can happen.
I just want to mention, thank you very much, Lamp Games, for the donation. I assume it's a donation. I've never seen that pop up before in the chat, but thank you very much. Just a bit of a shout out to you, obviously supporting Timp today in chat.
Good job indeed. And yeah, look at that. Already nearly a second, Timp has actually managed to break away from Topar. Goodness me, he is on a charge now. I say he's on a charge now. He's been on a charge for a while. Non-runner gets himself another penalty on the board. And actually Raven on those fresh tyres is charging again. I've just seen him take 10th position away from Max. So Marcel has really fallen off the back of his teammate now, so he's well out of DRS range. As mentioned Max, and he gets himself a penalty. Let's actually look at Raven on those fresh ultra soft tyres. There is the two of them. Fizzy on the soft shod Force India. Is he going to try and keep Raven behind? It'll be interesting to see. I would doubt he has an option. Oh, look at that! Look at the amount of pace Raven had. And again, through no fault of Fizzy, he had no chance to defend that. Those tyres are pretty old and pretty spent on Fizzy's car, and those ultras off would just destroy Fizzy's car, which is a bit of a shame. That puts Fizzy down in 10th. So Raven then up to 9th as he drives through his ghosted teammates. He's got not even those tyres can close down 18 seconds in 3.5 laps. So that's Raven will get away from Fizzy, of course, but we'll see who else is able to do anything in these closing stages.
Well, yeah, you're right. Raven's got no chance, but non-runner doesn't have 2 seconds of penalty. One thing I would like to mention about Raven, he is a blooming quick driver. I mean, he hasn't shown it. 5 seconds for Raiko Gordon. That's not good. Raven, at the beginning of the season, had some issues with the steering wheel and stuff, what meant pretty much he was unable to race. But he is so quick. I mean, he's one of the quickest on the grid, easily one of the quickest on the grid on his day. Well, I say easily, that's probably a bit of an overstatement, but you know, he's a seriously quick driver, so I don't think P9 quite does him justice, but I'm pleased to see him getting some points.
3 laps to go then, as Raven bungs the fastest lap on the board, and why not? And why the devil not? Actually, Raiko Gordon's gone on to the Ultra Softs as well. You can actually see Fizzy is falling into the clutches of Max. You can actually see it in the background of that shot. There is the Sauber honing in to try and take that 1 point away from the Pink Panther. That is going to be a battle that Fizzy will have. It comes down to penalties as well. We've seen Max's name on the penalty board. I don't recall seeing Fizzy's name on the penalty list either. So it could be that Fizzy will just let Max go, but will re-inherit that position at the end of the race. Still leading the way as Brendan now comes around to start the penultimate lap here in Mexico. He leads this man by 5 seconds. Championship leader Formula Downey, after finally breaking away from his teammate. He's actually broken away to the tune of 4 seconds now from Marcel Kiefer. There he is. And in the background there, you actually see there is Tim. Could he do it? Could he close down 2 seconds? Well, 2.3 seconds in 2 laps.
No, well, Tim has 1 penalty and Marcel Kiefer has 2 lots of penalties, so that's obviously a 3-second difference.
Yes, I mean, he'll do it. He would do it.
He could do it. It's like Tim can steal that 3rd place. I mean, obviously, Marcel Kiefer doesn't know what Tim's penalty situation is, but I'd be pretty worried if I was the Haas driver, because I'd be thinking I've got the, I've got more penalties than the driver behind, regardless.
Topar then. It's not been a great run for him, but still 5th position then. Still a decent handful of points for him. He is 4 seconds down from Tim. Slick is leading Segro, so the McLarens are together. We saw them 1 and 2 earlier on there, 6 and 7, so a decent point haul for them, as long as they don't encounter any further trouble between now and the end of the race. There is the super soft shot Segro. Non-runner is actually closing in to them, I believe, at the back. And thank you for the donation there from the subscription from Lamp Games. That's I don't know whether that's another one or whether I just received the notification you had earlier, so that's another one for ACR Tim.
It's a new one.
Excellent, so thank you very much for that. Very much appreciated. And we will let Timp know that he has some followers as we are now on the final lap here in Mexico as Marcel Kiefer. Oh, that's going to hurt.
Topin to play as well. Does that mean Topin might get moved up?
Raiko Gordon.
Really close.
Raiko Gordon, fastest lap. Fair play to you. Why not? Well, if you're at the back, why not? Give it a go. That could really hurt Marcel Kiefer's position. So that's... Ooh, we are just going to have to wait and see how the cards fall when they cross the line.
I think Topin's going to do it, you know. I think Topin's going to get that P4 at the end of the race.
Ooh.
I mean, it's literally 6 seconds.
Fizzy defending very hard from Max. Can he do it? No, I don't think he's got any tie life in that Force India.
Has
he defended? No, Max has got him, and Max is going to have DRS on that straight. But, of course, we know that Max has a penalty. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, it could be. Oh, well, we didn't see it. Brendan Lee has actually crossed the line. Brendan Lee has taken the win here in Mexico. Formula Danny 2. Marcel Kiefer is going to cross the line. He's got Timp all over his tail. Timp was promoted to 3rd. Timp did it. He is actually on the podium. Marcel Kiefer down to 4. Topa has actually claimed that 4th as well. Marcel Kiefer was demoted 2 positions due to penalties. Goodness me, our championship 3.
McLaren 6 and 7.
Yeah, fair play by Slick and Seagrove respectively. They were nearly side by side, I think, when they crossed the line. So they've claimed 6 and 7. 8. Oops, a bit of a carbon fibre coming across the track. Non-runner in 8. ATR Raven 9. Max, he's going to cross the line in 10th. Fizzy is right with him because we know there's going to be penalties there. Let's just see if Fizzy is going to re-inherit that point. He did indeed. The Pink Panther by...
Failer's go back.
Failer is...
He's gone. Something's gone wrong with Failer.
I think he's I think he's had enough of this race. Kalon and Raiko Gordon, being a lap down, have already crossed the line, or Failers has made a big old mistake. He's the only car still running. He's coming into the stadium section. Oh dear, something's gone horribly wrong. I think he's going to retire.
I think his tyres are absolutely
dead.
Yeah.
He can't. They're so dead he can't actually turn. Oh goodness me.
This is what it looks like when your tyres have absolutely gone.
You might as well just get out and walk over the line at this point.
Can you see the understeer? Even at like 60 miles an hour, you can actually see the understeer. Look at that.
Oh God! Yeah. Sorry, Failer. We're not intending to laugh at your. Oh, don't hit it at the wall. Oh, he's actually. he's actually spun trying to get back into the pits, but there we go. Oh, he actually ended up crossing the line instead. Wow, what a recovery drive from Tim, though. Absolutely belting effort. So that keeps him mathematically, I think, in the
23 points behind Danny, isn't it?
Oh, that is very, very close. Very close indeed.
Oh no, it isn't. No,
I was going to say that'll be Topa.
Obviously,
that'll be because he was 35 behind before this race started.
Yeah, no, that's completely wrong, my man.
Yeah, Tim was 35 behind Danny at the beginning of the race. He's lost another 3, isn't he? So he's still mathematically in it, just about.
Yes, he is. I mean, we've got him to talk to anyway, which is good. We also have Marcel Kiefer in the chat, so it'll be interesting to see his opinion on the penalties. Is he going to get any of them appealed? So,
well, we will see. We will see. Let's see who we can get hold of. It is indeed Danny, Brendan Lee, Marcel Kiefer, and Tim. Let's grab all 4 of them. Hello, gentlemen. Hello. Thank you very much for coming to join us. Well, goodness me, you certainly gave us a lot to talk about. Firstly, I want to come to you, Tim. What a recovery drive from you.
Yeah, totally. That was fun, I guess, drive, but 2-stop wasn't the way to go. But yeah, I mean, it was fun race to do.
What was your kind of pit stop strategy before you came in? Obviously, before you were forced to pit very early on. What was your initial plan?
Well, yeah, obviously just go one stop with a soft tire, but those issues on the start of the race just forced me to do like different kind of strategy. So yeah, I mean it kind of worked, but. Wow, and also I pitted 1 lap too early for softs. I mean, super softs. That's why I was like, Brendan was getting so much me on the middle of the race.
It certainly gave us a lot to talk about. And coming across then to Brendan Lee, our race winner again in pretty dominant style. Was it as comfortable for you as it seemed to us, or did you really have to fight for that one, Brendan?
I mean, obviously I started P5, so I had to fight at the start, but from lap 23 onwards, I was literally just, I wouldn't say coasting, but I was just saving tyres. You could see on my race director, last couple of laps, I turned up the pace again and gained a couple of tenths, so there was more time in it.
Great stuff, great stuff. Formula Danny, well. How many... You could probably count how many flies were on your teammate's car before the end of it. You were stuck behind him for so long. Were you intending on racing Marcel for so long, or were you hoping he would let you go? Nothing from Formula Danny, unfortunately.
He's speechless.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up with Formula Danny later on. We've been joined by Fizzy. Hello, Fizzy.
Oh, have we? Hello.
We would.
I've got a point.
You was going to say you were being cheered on in the chat by several people that I won't say what they were saying about poor Max when he did overtake you, but we realised there was a penalty there. Are you happy you have your championship point, sir?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't even know when the last time I scored a point, to be honest. So you got to take what you can get in this league. When
Spa.
Half the Spa, well, okay, yeah. Really, that feels more recent than it, than I thought actually. But yeah, when 2/3 of the grid is filled by absolute aliens, you kind of have to take a point whenever you can. I was a bit lucky, of course. There were a few people missing and a few people had problems at the start, but I for once drove a race that my pace was still not where I want my pace to be, but I didn't really make any mistakes, so lucky that Max had a penalty, of course. I really tried to defend from him because I didn't know that. Yeah, happy when I crossed the line until that.
Consistency wins out again. And another donation. Actually, Timp, you've been earning the donations. Thank you again for that, for the donation that's come in. We've spotted...
Can I just point out, from a launch, I had a Formula E glitch, so that's why I got so bad launch, because I didn't know even, I didn't hear my engine, so I just shift off like so many times, and yeah, I mean, so annoying, but...
Goodness me. Alright, Formula Danny, can you hear us? If you can hear us, we certainly can't hear you, unfortunately. Nope, he's hopped out of the channel again. Right, I think we can wind it up at this particular point. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, who have been with us throughout the stream. It is always a great pleasure to stream live for you guys. Thank you to our drivers once again for putting on an incredible show. It's always a great pleasure to commentate on you. Once again, thank you, Hamish, for being in the commentary box with me. It is a great pleasure, as always.
No problem. I do quickly have the championship standings. So, in P1, we've got Danny 277, we've got Topa 258, and Timp 239. The current, as it stands, and as the race anyway, points difference is 19 points back to Topa and 38 points back from Timp. So they both obviously have a mathematical chance of winning champion.
Still all to play for, as we have just 2 rounds remaining in this season. So we will be back in the commentary box for the F1 League next week. But do swing by this particular channel for more action of various other leagues. If you want to get signed up and get involved, head over to apexonlineracing.com. Sign up, and you may have crazy people like me and Hamish shouting about your on-track antics. For now, thank you very much, and we will see you back here next time for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.